and it just becomes rules and rituals. But when we actually begin to tabernacle with God, when we begin to walk step in step with the Holy Spirit, when we develop this intimacy with God, all of a sudden, instead of us trying to live according to the Scriptures, the very life of Jesus comes out of us. And our whole personality changes, our character changes, the things we say changes, the way we see people changes. We actually begin to supernaturally live the way that God has called us to live, simply because the Holy Spirit is living inside of us. We are temples of the Holy Spirit. That's an important thing. And now, as our lives are filled by the Spirit of God, God Himself lives through us, and God accomplishes His purposes. So let's begin by looking at Hebrews 9, 1 through 5. It says, "Now the first covenant had regulations for worship and also an earthly sanctuary. A tabernacle was set up. In its first room were the lampstand and the table and its consecrated bread. This was called the holy place. Behind the second curtain was a room called the most holy place, which had the golden altar of incense and the gold-covered ark of the covenant. The ark contained the gold jar of manna, Aaron's staff that had budded, and the stone tablets of the covenant. Above the ark were the cherubim of the glory overshadowing the atonement cover. But we cannot discuss these things in detail now." So as we go through this, an important thing to see as he starts this out is that the first covenant was based on an earthly sanctuary. And this is what it says in verse 1. "Now the first covenant had regulations for worship and also an earthly sanctuary.